If I had known about DBT skills back when I was traveling frequently to family events during the holidays, I would have done a lot better. I'm telling you that I would come back home practically in crisis almost every time, but at least very, very dysregulated, just feeling out of sorts, feeling that trauma energy in my body. And now, if I'm in a situation where I believe that it might evoke some of that same energy, I have the tools. Hey everyone, it's Debbie from emotionallysensitive.com and healingfrombpd.com. And I have a question for you. Are you traveling during these holidays? Are you visiting family? This can be a really stressful time of year, whether you are going to travel and visit family or not. I'm personally not traveling and visiting family at this time, but I know that I have a history of whenever I did, I would get so emotionally dysregulated, and it would last for days, and it would be really uncomfortable, and I just wouldn't feel myself, and I'd feel stressed and anxious. And this was before learning a set of skills called DBT skills, dialectical behavior therapy skills. These skills help us with a range of things from distress tolerance, which basically is getting through difficult moments without making matters worse, emotion regulation, which is more of a lifestyle process of changing things in our routine in ways that are more supportive of our body, mind, spirit health, so that we have more resilience and less emotional vulnerability when things happen, when upsetting things happen, when triggers come up. And there's mindfulness, which is the foundation of all of DBT skills and woven into the entire program that I co-teach. And then there's interpersonal effectiveness, which is the class that starts tomorrow, actually, on November 20th, Monday. This class is all about relationships. It's focused on DBT skills that are about your relationship with yourself, but also your relationships with others. It's important to know that many people who come to a DBT skills class to learn these skills don't have them because of early life experiences. And because of those early life experiences, instead, we adapted other ways to get our needs met, to try to read people, to try to survive in relationships. But we may have trouble actually forming and keeping the healthy types of relationships that we see other people having that we crave for ourselves. I know that was true for me before DBT skills. I just didn't know. I had trouble with reading social cues and thinking, for example, if someone rolled their eyes or they sighed, it was always about me. That was my fear, that fear of abandonment, that fear of rejection. And what happens when we're not aware of that and we don't have skills to cope and identify and mindfully say, okay, right now I'm having my rejection and abandonment fears come up. There was a point in my life where I didn't have that kind of insight. And what would happen would be I would see that facial expression, have the thought that someone was going to leave or abandon, and then act from that place as if it was fact and truth, and it would cause confusion in a relationship or in an interaction with another person, because I truly, truly believed it. Because the emotion was so strong, it had to be true that they were leaving. Then I behaved as if they were, and then what happens? The self-fulfilling prophecy of pushing someone away, freaking someone out. They get confused, and then you're confused. So that's one of the areas where I think interpersonal effectiveness skills can be so effective, combined with the mindfulness skills in DBT, is slowing us down or choosing to slow down, notice what's coming in through our senses, identify it, and then start to, in what we call in DBT, check the facts. Start to go through the process of basically analyzing if this thought that I'm having is congruent with what's happening right now, or is it being driven solely by my emotional reaction? And how do I discern that? And how do I get there? And it can make such a huge difference in our relationships just to begin to have that awareness that this may be going on for us. there are so many other things that are covered in interpersonal effectiveness, from communication. A lot of times, if we have had a chaotic past, we might be either too aggressive or too passive when we're trying to communicate our needs and engage with other people, and that can be damaging to relationships, either side of the spectrum. So we work towards getting to that middle, assertive ground. Another issue can be impulsivity. Because our emotions can get so intense, whether we have BPD traits or other emotion dysregulation issues from past trauma, anxiety, you name it, our emotions can become so dysregulated that they interfere with us being able to have healthy relationships for a number of reasons. So, as we're heading into a time of year where, depending on your traditions, you might be getting together with family, maybe family that you don't often see. You may be traveling, which can be dysregulating in and of itself if we totally disrupt our schedules and the flow of life that we're used to, and being around people who trigger us, be it because of past things or because of their current behaviors or a combination. And if we're choosing to push through that for whatever reason, then we need tools. We need to be equipped. And if I had known about DBT skills back when I was traveling frequently to family events during the holidays, I would have done a lot better. I'm telling you that. I would come back home practically in crisis almost every time, but at least very, very dysregulated, just feeling out of sorts, feeling that trauma energy in my body. Now, if I'm in a situation where I believe that it might evoke some of that same energy, I have the tools, and I now have a community where we can gather together in support. So you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to let this continue to drive your actions, these intense emotions and this lack of knowing how to cope because we were never taught. There's a space now at emotionallysensitive.com where you can gather with like-minded people who have similar histories, and we get together and there's support, there's community, there's skills training, and there's feedback, so that if you do attempt to use a skill and it doesn't work out the way that you had hoped, we can troubleshoot that. Or if it does go the way you had hoped, we can reverse engineer and figure out why it worked, so that you can be supported in repeating that same process over and over again. It really is all about building new neural pathways in the brain. We do the things that we do over and over because we've done them over and over. So they're etched in our brains, and the way out of that is to begin to do something differently. And that can be really difficult and feel really foreign and against the stream if we don't have some type of support, if we don't have some type of structure. And that's really what this class that starts tomorrow is going to provide. And yes, we are starting it during a holiday week in the United States for many people who observe. Not everyone does, of course. And we just think it's great timing. There's a lot going on this week, and we would love to have you with us to join our community, get support, learn the skills, better understand yourselves. This class goes really in depth to understand what's happening in the physiology, what's happening emotionally, what's happening with my thoughts. Why do I feel triggered? Why is this emotion coming up? What is the urge I'm feeling like I'm having? What will the impact of this urge be on my life if I act on it? What will the impact be on this relationship? It's a very holistic course. It is DBT skills plus. There's a somatic component. I just hope you'll check it out and you'll join us. Go to emotionallysensitive.com right now and you can sign up. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You're free to leave a comment here. If you'd like to ask a question more privately, please come to the contact page on our website. All right, everyone, thank you. Hope to see you in class tomorrow. Let's do this together. The time is now. All right, bye for now.